Okay, Doc, can we get to the other main event that we need to discuss tonight before we get into this episode of WCW from 1991, which was very short and probably wasn't the greatest, but can we get into the other current events? Because this is, I think, going to be good, what we need to discuss here.
So I think it's I think it's I think it's funny when we tell everybody what's going to happen and then nobody listens to us.
Please tell the people what you're talking about.
Well, I believe we all tried to tell everybody that Vince wasn't going away for good.
I think
What
we
I don't think
predicted a
any
step
of
away
us
and then
could have
come back.
What?
I think we predicted a step away, but I think we all thought, yeah, he ain't done.
But what none of us could have anticipated is that he was able to worm his way back in so very quickly.
Yeah.
And now, to throw into the mix of our discussion here, today we learned that Stephanie is saying, I resign.
What's that about?
Well, we need to go through some scenarios here and figure out what. I mean, something's up, and nobody is better to figure out what's actually going on here than us. So, Mike, what's going on?
Well, Vince basically pulled his Booker man card, for lack of any other words, and just pushed himself back in because why not? I mean, when you got the power to do that, I guess you just do it. And then, I don't know, it doesn't even feel like it's been a week later, as of us recording this tonight, Stephanie tweets out, then, now, forever together. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to mean, just some bullcrap jargon. Talking about how 8 months ago, she took a leave of absence, and within a few weeks, an unexpected opportunity of a lifetime reared its head, and she had the privilege to return as co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. And she was immensely happy and decided to do that because it was with the greatest company in the world. And yeah, she continued along, and now Vince McMahon has returned as, she says, our founder in her letter, Vince McMahon, not my dad. Our founder, Vince McMahon, has returned as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. Boy, you know that makes me and Doc's heads explode and blood boil.
That means nothing and everything all at the same time.
Right. And with Nick's leadership and Paul Triple H Levesque as chief content officer, I'm confident WWE is in the perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders.
That's what we need, is maximum shareholder value. That's really the only metric that we're looking for here.
WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave and take it one step further with my official resignation. She goes on to say, I look forward to cheering on WWE from the other side of the business, where I started when I was a little kid as a pure fan. I'll always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, and our fans, and I'm grateful to all of our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever together, Steph. Projectile vomit after reading that. But
Come on.
it's not, this ain't about her. It's just, Doc and I just have radar when it comes to these corporate spins. She walked in there.
None of that was written by anybody who has blood flowing through veins.
Right. It was like damn near a computer wrote that, and it's so disingenuous that I don't really know what else to say other than Vince is back and Stephanie's gone. And boy, how long till Triple H is gone too, Doc? But I don't know. Well, you lead this thing. What do you want to talk about?
What if it's time to play the game on AEW?
No, that's not going to happen.
Okay, so here's my question. Let's walk through some scenarios.
You mean Stephanie go to AEW?
Whatever. I'd like to see her fat ass stroll down that aisle. You know what I'm saying?
You've said that many times. Continue. I want to hear what your questions are and predictions are here. Oh, and Vince did announce he was going to sell. I forgot to state that. He said, we are going to look to possibly sell. But continue, Doc.
So everybody is either working together to get rich, which I think is the more likely scenario, that there's a blood pact here in the family and with Nick Khan, or somebody's about to get left holding the bag. What do we think? And what I mean by this is, there was a thing that came out that, like, apparently Conrad stumbled on.
Oh.
And basically, Nick Khan is there to sell the business. And he gets a significant kicker when that happens.
So he has, what you're saying is incentive to help sell the thing. Nick Khan does.
Well, and all of his actions since he got there line up with that.
And you said Conrad stumbled on this. Why do you say Conrad stumbled on this?
It was a story I read earlier today where basically Conrad was talking to some agencies about getting representation for some people. And he's like, this is people's money, so I don't want to mention names. But I was talking to somebody there who knew Nick Khan and was like, yeah, Nick's this. Why is he involved? And they're like, oh, it's to sell the company. That's the only reason he's there. And he has a kicker to do it. He gets
gotcha.
He gets like a commission on the deal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
The question is, what's written into it to take care of Stephanie and Paul in terms of roles with the company or payment or any of that stuff? And are they going to sell it? Or are they going to swerve Nick Khan and not sell it?
So I follow Brandon Thurston from WrestleNomics, and this dude is really, really plugged in and understands the business parts of all of this. The sell, to not sell, Vince being forced out, Vince coming back, all that stuff. He's tremendously plugged into it. He does a show on Pollock and Wei Ting's feed for Post Wrestling. And he said something in his show that I listened to on Sunday, not Sunday, it was over the weekend, I think it dropped. Anyway, he said something I found very intriguing. The question isn't so much who is Vince McMahon going to sell to, it's who's going to agree to allow Vince McMahon to either preserve or improve his position of power in the company. If the answer to that is no one, then Vince will not sell. Because remember, ultimately, he's the booker man. I mean, we joke about that term, but the buck stops with him.
So what you're saying is they want to sell it, but only if he can still hang around and do his thing?
That's the way Brandon Thurston described it. And this dude is plugged into this from a business standpoint better than anyone. And I mean, I've just listened to some of the things he said about this from the beginning when, the whole allegations came out on Vince, Vince eventually being forced out. I mean, he even said, at that time he was like, this guy holds the majority shares. Not only that, but he has 80% of the voting power, I believe it was. So he's like, even, the only way he leaves is if he leaves. Like, no one can force him out. So for him to say this now, the question isn't so much who's he going to sell to, it's who's going to agree to allow Vince to preserve or improve his position of power in the company if he sells. So like, Vince sells, but he's still the most powerful man there. Then he's not going to sell. And if the answer to that is no one is going to allow him to preserve or improve his position, then he said he doesn't think Vince will sell. And I totally agree with that, because Vince is, he's just a power hungry dude.
This is what he wants to do.
It's like on Cheers when Sam sold the bar, but he stayed on as the bartender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sailed around the world on a boat and it wrecked, and then he came back.
Yeah, yeah. Remember that? That he bought that he bought the bar back
Yeah.
eventually from Christy Alley.
So, oh, you, what was your question, Doc? I wanted to state that.
Well, I also wonder if this is a move, and I don't understand the economics behind it too much here. I'll be honest with that. But I also wonder if this is a way, after what Vince has been exposed to and learned, that he's trying to structure a deal that takes this thing back private, where he ain't got to deal with these shareholders.
See,
That would be beautiful.
See, you told me that offline, and I was like, yes, let's talk about that. I'm with Harper. As much as I don't like the WWE brand of wrestling, modern wrestling in general, I don't like. But WWE, I'd like for dislike for different reasons than AEW. But like, to me, if he were to do that and just say, you know what, I ain't selling this thing, I'm going private. Like, that to me is the real move, because it would make me raise my eyebrow, and it would make me wonder, if he did do that, would he just say, F him, I don't want to be holding the shareholders.
Well,
no
and
more.
that, to build on that, then I wonder if Stephanie really is a corporate type and likes the corporate environment, and she's frustrated with him wanting to go private. See, I don't know. I don't believe that Paul, Stephanie, Nick Hunt, and Vince are all working together as a foursome to take over the world somehow. Somebody's going to turn on somebody, because this is wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think somebody is, like, at the end of the day, they're not, like, I don't think people understand this. Like, they're business people, but they are cutthroat. That's the reason they're in the position they're in.
I don't think family is the bind here, is the tie that binds. I don't know that money is, because there's power involved.
Right.
The only two that I think are going to stick together, and I'm not even 100% sure of that, is Stephanie and Paul. But I could see her giving up him to stay with Daddy.
I don't know. Because I think she's probably really pissed with him right now.
She loves her daddy.
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't want to. You think she wanted to resign?
Well, that's the other thing, is why are they leaving Nick Khan as the only CEO right now? Is it so that when Vince, I mean, she resigned from the board too.
That's what I'm saying. There's something really deep going on.
There's something brewing, and it ain't on the up and up. It ain't how any of us would do business. How about that?
So, Harper, what do you think?
I just think it's just crazy that Stephanie's just leaving. Where the fuck is she going?
Home to make babies and be in the kitchen where women belong, like Arn Anderson said.
No, she can't be making babies. She's too old for that.
Right. And Doc,
wait a minute.
He's trying to be funny. You're like, come on, bro. Seriously?
Wait a minute. How old you just turned, Harper?
46.
Jesus Christ, it's almost over for you.
I know.
Don't say that, man.
She's 46 too.
Yeah, she can't be. I
when
mean,
did
she can have babies.
When did she get to be 46? Jesus Christ, I swear she was 38 yesterday.
Well, when we started this show, she was 38. So
that makes sense. So maybe she's
we were also in our 30s still, I believe.
Maybe she's gonna volunteer and keep herself up for Triple H and just maybe volunteer at the kids' schools.
She's
gonna be like Princess Di.
I don't think people realize when she came back, she was on a leave of absence because of I think the reports were, someone correct me out there, she was burnt out, and it was for mental health reasons. So she was not around because she was on a leave trying to recharge her batteries and help her own mental health out, which That's a big thing, man. If your mind ain't right, bro, you screwed. So when he stepped away, she bounced into that instantly. Like she immediately came back after being away, trying to get her mental state of mind back. So like, I'm just going to go with that on the surface and say, all right, well, she was trying to fix her mental health and she's working on things, and your dad steps away. So now you're thrown back into the fire. So she came back she had no intentions of coming back, but she came right back as soon as he was gone to step into that role. So to now be kind of pushed out, again, I'm taking it on the surface. I'm taking it for what it is on the surface. I know people out there say, oh, no, that was full of it. Wasn't nothing happening. Look, I'm not trying to judge another person's mental illness or mental issues, okay? On the surface, that's what happened. And now he comes back and just kind of like just pushes her out. It's what it looks like.
For all these bitches that think they moved the needle with this Me Too movement, Vince just said, nah,
I'm not co-signing what you just said. That's ignorant.
Come on.
I mean,
you sound
seriously,
stupid.
he just Heismaned around a bunch of Me Too stuff.
Oh, if you're talking about Vince, he is
Yeah.
extremely disrespectful in what he Harper with the Pac-Man fucking ringtone. What he did, it truly was a slap in the face, because all these allegations that are out there, he just Heismaned all these women is really pathetic.
Okay, so
it really is if you think about it.
And now he's been voted back in chairman of the board.
Can I say one more thing about what you said though about the women and the allegations? Because I need to address this.
Say it.
Let's say there are 30 women. I'm just making up a number. And people go, yeah, but almost all of them are lying. I don't give a damn. If one of them is telling the truth, that's too goddamn many.
I don't believe that shit, bro. People are, oh,
if
but
one
probably, bro. I'm not saying none of them are lying, because it is quite possible. But, bro, I would believe them all before I don't believe any of them.
That's what I'm saying. No. I'm playing devil's advocate because I hear this sometimes. Like they go, I heard this when we dropped the last episode, not the last episode, but when we talked about this the first time. Somebody was like, oh, but you believe all those women. Here's the thing. If it's 30 of them and one of them he raped or did something heinous, if there is any type of sexual assault with just one of them, ain't that too many? And if your answer is, yeah, but 29 lied, I don't give a good goddamn about the 29 that lied. If they lied, they need to be dealt with accordingly. And I don't mean like, murdered or anything. I mean like, if they lied, they're wrong. Wrong is wrong. We always make that statement. But the one that didn't lie and it's proven, that's too many. Like I don't get why people get on this soapbox of, oh, but most of them were lying. Okay, so if you had 10 kids and 9 of them lied about being sexually assaulted, but one of them didn't, you're just gonna say, well, the other 9 lied, so you just will have to deal with your issues, the one that it actually happened to. No, you ain't gonna say that. Like, I don't get that mindset. Like, do people, first off, people lie in general, but if one of them is telling the truth, that's one too many in my eyes. I'm gonna get off my soapbox about that now.
What if Nick Khan got with Vince and got Stephanie kicked out?
I don't put nothing past none of them.
I don't put anything
dirty
past
business people.
Any 4 of them to hit any of the other ones with a steel chair.
100%.
Now, what's Triple H, man? What if Stephanie was hot and quit, and now she's all like yelling at she gets home and she wants to tell Triple H about her day, and he's like, "Look, I still got to work there."
Yeah, I don't want to hear your shit, lady. You quit.
Yeah, you quit. I'm still there.
Yeah,
he ain't telling her that. You
took your ball and you went home.
No, he's not telling her that. Y'all know good and well he ain't telling her that. You know what he's really thinking? He's really thinking how bad he wants to curse out his father-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, guess who's at home and has to deal with, and I say deal with, but Triple H is now at home and Stephanie is in his ear. So he's thinking, you're the one that caused this.
Vince's office and tell him what's up. Right? Don't.
That's what I'm saying.
And the minute he gets mad and says something to her about Vince saying something, don't talk about my dad that way.
Oh my God, no win situation. What happens with him though, Doc? Do you think he's done?
Man, I don't know. I
think he's stuck in a hard. What do you say? But between a rock and a hard place.
Of all the people you've hated over the years, you might need to even gin up some sympathy for that fella.
Nah.
Come on.
Nah. Well,
it's time to play the game.
Yeah. You want me to feel sympathy with the person who's got the bank account that's probably like 100,000 times larger than mine? No, ain't happening. That goes for any rich person. I feel no sympathy for him.
Come on.
You don't go through the daily struggle and grind like the three of us. We got shoot jobs. We got to clock in and out, basically. We are busting our hump for the pennies that we make.
The scraps.
And for the scraps that are thrown on the table for us to fight over. No, I feel no sympathy for Triple H. Because guess what? If he's kicked in the ass tomorrow out the door, him and Stephanie are going to be well taken care of for the rest of their lives, and so will their children. No sympathy. It must be nice.
White
so he
privilege.
Can. I did not say that.
But you're thinking it, Mike.
That's not. Why you gotta go there, man?
As a guy who enjoys it, it's enjoyable.
You too.
Okay, Michael.
Here's the thing. I am for sure that there is a lot more to come on this.
Oh, yes.
I am sure that this is far more interesting than anything that the current product is throwing on their TV show. And I'm also sure of one more thing. Regardless of what happens, we will continue to cover the event.
Cover the event. Cover the event.
Hey, we're going to stick with this like y'all stick with us. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.